Howdy folks, I'm Mama B, and I want to show you how I ended up finishing off this last color. So when I realized I was about out of yarn, I ended on this row, and it's kind of a scallopy look, right? It's a little bit bumpy. Now you can work with this easily, but I like to try and straighten it out when I know I'm adding a new color, partly for the design effect, but also because you can add any stitch to a straight line. If it's scallopy like this, you have to be a little more selective. So what I did was I started my next row, I chained 6. So I finished with a tie off, and I slip stitched up to the center of this chain of 6. See if I can give you a little better perspective. I finished my row here. I slip stitched up till I was at the half point, which is where we make all of our stitches, right? And then I chained from here. I chained up 6. I did 2 single crochets in the top of the flowers over that little double chain. Then I crocheted 6 again in the chain. Then here I did a double crochet where you would have normally put the flower petals into the center of that chains of 6. I did a double crochet and then another double crochet over here and combined them and chain 6 again. I'll show you. You can see it makes it nice and straight. So I chain 6 and then I do a double crochet, and I'm looking for that chain of 6, and I go right into the middle of it with my double crochet. Then I do a double crochet and go to the next one into the center of it, and that forms kind of a diamond shape. Then I chain 6, and I do 2 single crochets right directly over the flowers in that chain of 2. 1 and 2, just like that. And I chain 6, and I repeat it. Double crochet into the middle of those chains of 6, not the one you just did, but from the row before. Another double crochet from the row before in the middle of this chain of 6, and chain 6 again. 2 single crochets top of that flower, and you just finish it all the way around, and you can see that makes it nice and straight, so I can put any stitch I want to on top of this. It's fantastic. When we come to your starting row, you just go into that center stitch and do a slip stitch. Slip stitch it again and snip that off. Pull that loop right through. There you have a perfect straight row ready to start your next stitch, your next color, whatever you want to do. You can see I'm just about done with this skein, this spool of thread, whatever you want to call it. This is just about gone. Now I'm not worried about using it all because this is a really good thing. You'll use your leftover yarn thread to make appliques to add through your skirt, and you can design it however you want. You can bring it up from the colors that you've already pulled in. You can highlight pockets. You can really do whatever you want with it. Stick them anywhere you want. So I like to have a little bit of scraps left over, and when you're doing multiple colors like this, it's nice to use all of them. So that's not a bad thing to have a little bit of leftover. Okay, for your starting your next color, you're going to do a slip knot, and then you'll pick up your work and go to the starting point. Do a single crochet to get you started, to get you connected, and then chain 3. And normally I like to try and work these ends in, but with as delicate a lace as this is, you might have to go back and just do it with a needle. Then you do yarn over and do a double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2, yarn over, and do another crochet into that same area. And another one. Yarn over, double crochet. Now we're going to chain 2 and go to our next section. Now our next space that we're going to do it, if you did that extra border, this extra row that I did, you'll go into the center of those 2 double crochets. Now if you did a half flower and you didn't do that extra row, then you'll go into the center of the flower and you'll go into the center of this little triangular shape area. Those are the 2 hit points. On this one, with the extra row, it's the center of the diamond and the in between the 2 double crochets. And you're going to do this repeated in every single pattern, or every single hit point. So chain 2, go into the 2 single crochets with a double crochet, another double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2, just like that. Then we're going to chain 2 and repeat into the diamond shape, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, double crochet. Getting ahead of myself there. Got to finish that stitch all the way. Just like that. I'll show you one more time. Let's take a look at how it's going to look. I'll show you one more time the pattern. Chain 2 into the single, between the 2 single crochets, double crochet, chain 2, 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2, chain 2. Just keep repeating. Again, if you did not do this extra row and you ended with the 4 petals of the flower below, instead of doing the 2 petals on top, you'll just go into it with this pattern. And then you'll hit right here in between in the triangular shape. So hopefully that's very clear. If you have any questions, please leave comments below, and let's speed this up. Okay, I'm coming to the end of this row, and I just want to show you how we finish this off. We've got our 2 double crochets to finish that pattern, and then we're going to chain 2, and we'll go to the initial chain of 3. Now that's the beginning of that pattern. Go to the top of that chain and do a slip stitch. That completes that. Now you want to be in the middle of this, but we don't want a lot of bulk, so we're going to do a slip stitch, kind of work our way over there. And that last one, I'm just going to do a single crochet. And there I am. Now we chain 3 and do a double crochet, chain 2, 2 more double crochets. And you'll see that that's got us started on the next row. See that? And we're just going to keep chaining 2 double crochets into the next one, because at this point you're just going into the top in those double crochets into that chain of 2, and it's the exact same pattern all the way through, just like that. So I'm going to continue to do this. I'm going to finish all this color. except for one little factor. My end of it, my last row, I want it to be a little bit of a heavier, thicker pattern. So I'm going to show you how I do the last row, and you're going to want to leave a little bit more thread so that you can do this. Alright, I'm coming to the end of my row, and I still got quite a bit of color left, but you're going to need about that much, if not a little bit more. You will want to make sure that you have enough yarn to do that final row. And as you can see, this has a tendency to want to curl up a little bit, and so this weighted stitch will pull it out and make it hang better and do all the stuff you want it to. And really make it look finished off. So what we're going to do, we're going to finish off the row with the slip stitch into the third chain on your very first chain for that row. Just slip it right in. And that's finished. Now we're going to do a double crochet, and we're going to go, if you look at your pattern, you can see there's kind of this pattern where the stitch is thick. And we're going to go right into the center of each one of these. And it's going to look great. So let's just do it. Double crochet. We're going to do 10 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we're going to drop a single crochet right around that chain of 2. That will hold our weighted stitch. I think it's called a scallop. I'm not good with names. I don't really care. I just need to know how to make them. Right? And we're going to do that all the way around. I'm going to throw down another one so you get an idea of how it's going to look. You're going to love it because it looks so good. Just go right into the double crochets after that single stitch. Just go back into the double crochets and fill up 10 of them. See how that gives it a nice finished off look? So that's how we're going to finish off this skirt. And get around with that and you're going to be completely finished. Unless you want to do some embellishments on the skirt itself, which always goes over well. Don't be afraid of it. You can crochet a little applique and stitch it on. That usually works great. I like to stitch around some of the stitches as well with similar colors, and that usually goes over pretty well as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. That's how we do it, just like that. That could be cute. And that'll keep it down so that it doesn't get all curled up like this is doing. There you go. And there you have it, folks. Thanks so much for joining along with us and for watching our videos and sharing them with your friends. Have a fantastic day.